A new report claims First Lady Jill Biden is seeking revenge for Democrats' poor treatment of President Biden. From the coup to take Biden out of the presidential race to the backlash over son Hunter's pardon. The First Lady is reportedly urging President Biden to, quote, settle the score with several one-time allies. Quote, Jill views Democrats on Capitol Hill, the wider party, the Obamas, staff inside and outside the White House, the media, and all of Washington, D.C. with such misguided resentment that I can't imagine she isn't encouraging Joe to burn the whole thing down despite his better judgment. Yowza. Michelle?
You know, it makes you wonder if Jill planted some butter or grease on those steps that Nancy Pelosi recently slipped on. Oh. Like if she got there first and sort of oiled the steps so that Nancy might fall and break her hip. Did anyone else think of that about Nancy Pelosi falling and breaking her hip?
We kid.
You know, we kid. But listen, they're so concerned about his legacy right now, but they continue to diminish it with the student loans, with the pardons and the commutations, with all of these stupid things that they continue to do and say. And the Hunter Biden, you know, I think it was PolitiFact the other day said the lie of the year for 2024 was Trump's and Vance saying that Haitian immigrants were eating pets. Hang on, that's the lie of the year? Not, I will not pardon my son? Not Joe Biden sharp as a tack? That's not the biggest lie of the year. They called the Haitian immigrant lie is so consequential. Like saying that Biden was on his game wasn't consequent. I beg to do. This is a dishonest administration. It has been, and everything around it is.
I'm not suggesting that you know something about revenge, Emily.
It is in my DNA.
Emily. However, this doesn't seem potentially off base to suggest the anger inside the executive quarters.
And if you take longevity as any indication of actuality, then we've been hearing since before this president was president that Jill Biden had a massive issue, for example, with Kamala Harris, that she carried a chip on her shoulder for the offense that she took on behalf of her husband. That frequently throughout the entire 4 years and prior to that, she took personal hubris at how her husband was treated or things that was said about him. I also think it is no secret that she was the gas behind the vehicle of having him run again. I think that he shoulders a ton of the ego blame, but there was definitely, when you talked about how the agencies can run on their own for quite a while, you know, or at least for some time without truly a leader, I don't know if he would have declared for a second term, frankly. And I think given the volume and energy on her side, it was clear that the gas was coming from her. So it, yes, makes sense that the anger is shouldered by her as well. And I think, look, we saw all the wearing red. I do think she voted for Trump. And I think she is gleeful that Kamala did not win, as is her husband. They are very happy.
Remember, she essentially ran the last cabinet meeting. And there had to be someone it had to be Jill Biden propping Joe Biden up for the last several years. I sat on this sofa, not last July, but July last year, talking about we could see that he was in cognitive decline. Any American could see what was going on.
And she spent time with him morning, noon, and night, so she knew better than anybody the cognitive decline that we all saw. She knew it better, and she didn't care. Let's think about the rest of Jill Biden's life, though. So she spent the last 4 years, really the last probably 15 years or more, being able to fly around the world, being greeted as some kind of an honorable figure, which she still is. She's going to be a former first lady, but she's had a meal ticket with the Biden family, business, whatever that entails, right? We'll probably never know. But think about the rest of her life. She's going to be pushing probably Joe Biden around in a wheelchair, having to tend to his needs. She's not going to have the fanfare. She is angry, not of the Democrat Party. She's angry that this is over for her, and she's bitter about it. I watch enough Real Housewives to know exactly what Jill Biden is feeling right now. And it's the hatred of the fact that all of her glamour and esteem is slowly trickling away, and she's not going to go out without making some waves.
And guess who the soon-to-be former first family might have to live with in Delaware? Hunter.
Yikes. Well,
Party
look,
at their house.
I'd be bitter.
Any street cop will tell you, I'm glad you guys came to me last, because any street cop will tell you, it's a lot easier to get in the middle of two guys fighting than two women fighting. And apparently Jill really has it in for Nancy. Well, my question is this. They want to burn the whole thing down. I want details. Burn what down? You lost the House, you lost the Senate, you lost the president. There's nothing left to burn. You know, the sinking ship. Right now, the USS Democratic Party has slipped beneath the waves. There's nothing really left here. So I don't know where all this is coming from. And it scans to me like a fight in the day room of an old age home.
Oh.
I mean, really, what are they fighting about? Pelosi, Jill Biden, you know, retire already.
A lot of shin kicking.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.